Hello and welcome to tutorial 12 for GDTK stats. In this tutorial, we're going to be covering saving, loading, and respawning. So before we dive in, let's do just a small amount of maintenance work. We're going to jump into the stats database, and we had previously changed burn to tokens instead of seconds. And we're going to change that back to seconds just so it's easier for us to die in this, because we do need to die to respawn. So, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to make it so that we can save and load either through the environment or through key bindings. Let's begin with saving via the environment. I've copied over one of these colliders and made it say save point, and we're going to, on enter, drag in that player, and under player character stats we're going to select save. Notice there is a data save and a data load. Save is specific to respawning. It does a little extra stuff and doesn't require you to have a file name. And the reason it doesn't require you to have a file name is if we go into player and look at our respawn, there's a couple of things to fill in here. First is going to be what causes us to respawn. Well, that's going to be when health is less than or equal to 0. And here's where we set our file name, which is why we didn't need to supply it. This can, of course, be set via code as well, but for this purposes, we're just going to be doing it right here, and we're going to call it test.sav. We're going to tell it to save the position and the rotation. So whenever the save is invoked, our current position and rotation will be saved. And that's enough to get us respawning via the environment. Let's go ahead and have a look at what that is like. So we're going to walk right in here to the save point, and then we'll jump into the fire here. We'll set the difficulty up to 3 so it kills us faster. Ooh, and there we go, respawning. So let's give ourselves a little more. Let's make sure we know we're doing this right. So we'll grab a little damage, run on back to the save point, and then we will go get murdered again. Okay, there we are, back to where we were. We still had our status condition, our health was low, our stamina was low, everything's looking good for this. So let's look into saving and loading via the keyboard. So what we're going to do here is in the canvas, we'll just go ahead and, actually not even in the canvas, we'll just create an empty game object here, and we will do save, load, key binding. So we'll do a trigger by key, and we'll select F5 as our save. So on key down, player, and for this one, let's go ahead and use the other save. We'll go player character stats, data save, and test.sav. We'll add another trigger by key, and this one will be F9. On key down, drag in the player, player character stats, data load, test.sav. Okay, now we're ready to rock. Let's give it another start here. And before we do anything else, we can just go ahead and press the I wonder if Unity has an issue with these keys. Let's try. So we'll do F5. Okay, that doesn't seem to work inside of here, so let's go ahead and change our key bindings real quick. Let's just do the, well, we don't want to do the S key, so we'll do the Q key for saving, and we'll do the E key for loading. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so we've hit E and it reloaded us. Let's try again. Let's run over here. Get a little damage, hit the Q key. And now we'll hit the E key again. There we go. Now, of course, we're not getting all of the save, rotation, and position because we're going through the data save method, which does not do that. So if we were to go ahead and go back to our key bindings and change this from data save to simply save, we can run it again. Set the difficulty up nice and high. I think we are just clipping into this even though we're outside of it every time we start. So we'll go ahead and get over here and we'll wait till we get real low, hit Q, move on out, hit E. Ah, that's right, it's not doing it because this doesn't trigger a respawn. Only respawn moves us. So there you have it. We are saving and loading. Let's get a few things on us, actually. We'll do a little bit more before we go. We'll become a dwarf. And let's look at our player, because this doesn't show up in the UI. All right, we are a dwarf. And we will grab a couple of classes. Those do show up in the UI, so that'll be good. Let's take an attribute. Okay, another class is a magician. Hit the Q key here. In fact, let's run into our save point. There we go. Okay, so once we die, we should come back with cold immunity, healthy, mana regen. Okay, and we have our classes, and we've got our race. We've got cold immunity, healthy, mana regen. Everything's looking beautiful. So that will do it for tutorial 12. There are no more in our initial set of tutorials, but I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, take care.